Hi, this is Paul Kurtz with Hunter's Blend Coffee. And in this segment, I want to talk about how the grind of the coffee that you brew affects the taste. The Italians have a saying that there's 4 things that affect coffee: the grind, the machine, the operator, and the coffee. And as roasters, we tend to think it's the coffee, the actual beans that we roast. As a barista, we might think, oh, it's the operator or it's the machine. But the reality is the grind. You can have the best possible coffee, the best skills, the best machine, and your grind be all over the place, inconsistent, and your coffee product is going to suffer. So grind is underrated, but it is what contributes the most to the actual taste that you get. And I'd like to take a look here. I've got 3 different levels. Here's a very coarse, and I'd like you to think gravel. If I pour water through that, it's going to just pass through. I've limited the available surface area for extraction. It's just going to go through. In the middle, I have a medium grind. It's maybe like coarse sugar. It's going to back up and cause the grounds to suspend in the water a bit longer. It's got more surface area because there's more grains. And over here I have a very fine powder type grind, a lot of surface area, a lot of extraction is going to happen here. And when I say extraction, that's where your flavor, the sweetness, the aromas, as they make contact with water, are stripped away from the grounds and go into the beverage. And just as a little example of that, here I've got 200-degree water. I've got the same grams of coffee. I've got a fairly coarse coffee, and I'm putting some water in, and it immediately is going through. Very little suspension. And people that in a lab work on this say the grounds should be suspended in the water for 45 seconds. How do we know that? I have no idea. But you want it to pass through slowly. On the other hand, here is finely ground coffee. I'm putting water in it, and we're getting nothing move through. If we went ahead and took the time to allow that to drip through, this would be extremely syrupy and thick on the tongue. The viscosity would be thick. We call that a heavy body. In this would be very thin, very light, very watery, very little extraction. So we kind of want something in the middle to bring out the aromas, to bring out the flavors that we want without it being under-extracted and without it being over-extracted. Over-extraction also can start bringing acids and bitters out. So we don't want that. On a 12-ounce cup, think of it this way: you want to drip out in about 1.5 minutes. If it takes 2-3 minutes, you're too fine. If it takes under 1 minute, you're too coarse. So the grind is important. I want to encourage you, just play with your grind. Always record what you do. If you're on your grinder number 5 and you want to make it finer, and finer is number 6, go to number 6. Write down what you did. Brew a cup. Do you like it better? Did it change? Go until it actually changes and you can tell, yeah, I like that. It brings out more aromas. It's trying to find the grind that fits your taste. There's one other big area in this whole thing, and that's the level of roast. And we're going to talk about that next time. Have a good day.